Welcome to Copilot Podcasts, where we dive into the future of, well, everything really. Today we're exploring something that's completely transforming how farmers connect with buyers and investors. It's this whole digital revolution in agriculture that's really shaking things up.
You know what's fascinating is how these platforms are basically creating this digital marketplace where farmers can showcase their work, their produce, their methods, everything directly to buyers and investors.
Right. So it's kind of like a portfolio, but for farming.
Exactly. Think of it as well as LinkedIn meets Etsy, but for agriculture. Farmers can upload photos of their crops, details about their farming practices, their yield predictions, even their sustainability initiatives.
Oh, wow.
And what's really interesting is how these platforms are using things like blockchain to verify everything. So when a farmer says they're using organic methods or specific sustainable practices, there's this whole digital trail to prove it.
You know what this reminds me of? It's kind of like dating apps in a way.
Oh my goodness, yes. The matching algorithms are actually pretty similar. Just like dating apps match people based on compatibility, these platforms match farmers with buyers based on specific requirements like produce type, quantity, farming methods.
That's actually hilarious. Swipe right for organic tomatoes.
Right. But what's really transformative here is how these platforms are democratizing access to markets.
Can you break that down a bit?
So traditionally, small farmers were kind of stuck selling to whatever local buyers were available, right? They didn't have many options. But now they can connect with buyers and investors from literally anywhere in the world.
That's huge.
And it's not just about selling produce. These platforms are becoming like these complete business management tools. Farmers can track their inventory, manage their finances, even get weather alerts and crop recommendations.
So it's kind of like giving farmers a whole digital command center?
Exactly. And here's something really interesting. During the pandemic, some of these platforms started offering virtual farm tours.
Virtual farm tours? Really?
Yeah. And they've actually become this permanent feature now. Buyers and investors can literally see the farms they're working with without leaving their office.
That's wild. But what about the investment side of things? How's that working?
So this is where it gets really interesting. These platforms have basically turned agricultural investment into something like a game almost.
A game?
Yeah, so investors can browse through different farming projects, see detailed projections, track progress in real time. Some platforms even have these interactive dashboards where you can see your investment literally growing.
That's actually pretty clever.
And it's attracting a whole new generation of investors. People who might never have considered agricultural investment before are now getting involved because it's so accessible and transparent.
But surely there must be some challenges, right?
Oh, definitely. The biggest one is probably digital literacy among farmers. Not everyone's comfortable with technology, and there's often this learning curve.
Right, that makes sense.
And then there's the whole infrastructure issue. You need reliable internet access, which isn't always a given in rural areas.
You know what's interesting, though? These platforms might actually be helping preserve traditional farming practices.
How so?
Well, think about it. If farmers can find buyers who specifically value traditional methods and are willing to pay more for them, it makes these practices economically viable.
That's actually a really good point. It's like technology preserving tradition in a way.
Exactly. And speaking of tradition, how are the more traditional buyers and investors responding to all this?
You know, it's been mixed. Some were initially skeptical, but the efficiency and transparency of these platforms is really winning people over.
Makes sense.
And there's this whole sustainability angle too. These platforms are making it easier to track and verify environmental practices, which is becoming increasingly important.
Right, because buyers want to know where their food comes from and how it's produced.
Exactly. And investors are increasingly looking for sustainable projects to put their money into.
So what's next for these platforms? What's the future looking like?
Well, there's a lot of excitement about integrating artificial intelligence and machine learning. Imagine AI that could predict crop yields or suggest optimal planting times.
That's pretty advanced.
And there's talk about expanding into new areas like carbon credits. Farmers could potentially earn extra income by documenting their sustainable practices on these platforms.
So it's not just about buying and selling anymore.
No, it's becoming this whole ecosystem. Some platforms are even starting to integrate with smart farming equipment and sensors.
Like what kind of sensors?
So you've got soil moisture sensors, weather stations, even drones that can monitor crop health. All this data gets fed back into the platform.
That's incredible.
And buyers and investors can see all this real-time data, which helps them make more informed decisions.
It's really changing the whole game, isn't it?
Completely. And what's really exciting is how it's opening up opportunities for smaller farms that might have struggled to compete before.
Can you give an example?
Well, take a small organic farm, right? Before, they might have been limited to local farmers markets, but now they can connect with specialty buyers across the country who are specifically looking for their type of produce.
And they can probably get better prices too.
Exactly, because they're reaching buyers who really value what they're producing.
You mentioned investment earlier. How are the returns looking for investors?
It's actually pretty promising. Some projects are seeing returns of 15-20% annually, which is getting a lot of attention from traditional investors.
Those are some serious numbers.
And it's not just about the financial returns. There's this whole impact investing angle where people can support sustainable agriculture while making a profit.
Win-win situation.
Absolutely. And with climate change becoming such a pressing issue, this kind of sustainable agricultural investment is only going to become more important.
It's really fascinating how technology is kind of bridging this gap between traditional farming and modern markets.
And doing it in a way that benefits everyone involved. Farmers get better market access, buyers get more transparency, and investors get new opportunities.
It's like bringing the farm to your smartphone, basically.
That's exactly it. And we're really just at the beginning of what's possible with these platforms.
Well, this has been absolutely fascinating. Thanks for joining us on Copilot Podcasts, where we explore the technologies shaping our future. Until next time.